There are lessons in life that no school will ever teach you. No professor will stand at a chalkboard and explain how to carry grief without breaking. No textbook will prepare you for the silence that follows betrayal. These lessons come only from living, from falling, from watching something you built crumble and choosing to build again. The Stoic philosophers understood this over 2,000 years ago. They wrote about it. They lived it. And most of what they discovered, the modern world is only now beginning to understand. Today we explore 7 Stoic lessons that most people learn far too late. If even one of these reaches you at the right time, it could change the entire direction of your life. Lesson 1. You are not entitled to a life without suffering. This is the lesson that hits the hardest. We grow up being told that if we do the right things, life will be fair. Study hard, work honestly, be kind, and the universe will reward you. But the Stoics knew better. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled Rome through plagues, wars, and the betrayal of those closest to him, wrote in his private journal, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He wasn't writing for an audience. He was writing to survive. He was reminding himself that suffering is not a malfunction of life. It is the curriculum. The people who understand this early carry a different kind of strength. They don't collapse when things go wrong because they never expected permanent ease. They expected challenge, and they prepared for it. The people who learn this late spend decades wondering why life isn't cooperating with their plans, and that confusion becomes its own kind of suffering. Lesson 2. Your anger punishes you more than it punishes anyone else. Seneca devoted an entire book to anger. He called it the most hideous and frenzied of all emotions. Not because anger is wrong, but because it destroys the person carrying it far more than the person it is aimed at. Think about the last time you were truly angry, not mildly annoyed, furious. What did it cost you? Sleep, clarity, maybe a relationship, maybe words you cannot take back. Seneca said, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it?" The event that made you angry lasted minutes, but the anger itself can last years. It echoes through your body long after the cause has disappeared. The Stoic practice is not to suppress anger, but to catch it before it catches you. To pause, to ask, will this matter in 10 years? Am I reacting to reality or to my interpretation of reality? That pause, that single breath between stimulus and response is where your freedom lives. Master that pause, and you master yourself. Lesson 3. Most of what you worry about will never happen. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." 2,000 years later, modern psychology confirmed exactly this. Studies show that 85% of the things people worry about never actually occur. And of the 15% that do happen, 79% of people say they handled it better than they expected. The worry was worse than the event. Think about that. You spend your life afraid of storms that never arrive. And the ones that do arrive, you survive anyway. You always have. You always will. Worry is not preparation. It is rehearsal for failure. The Stoics replaced worry with a different practice-focused preparation for what is within their control and complete acceptance of everything that is not. Lesson 4. You will lose everything you love. Love it anyway. This is perhaps the most difficult Stoic teaching. Epictetus said, "When you kiss your child goodnight, whisper to yourself, 'Tomorrow they may be gone.' This sounds unbearable." But Epictetus wasn't trying to create fear. He was trying to create presence. Because when you truly understand that nothing is permanent, not your health, not your relationships, not your life, something extraordinary happens. You stop taking things for granted. You begin to see what was always there. A meal with your family becomes sacred. A conversation with a friend becomes irreplaceable. A quiet evening at home becomes the kind of memory you'll wish you could return to. The Stoics didn't practice this to live in sadness. They practiced it to live fully awake, to love without the arrogance of assuming you have forever. Lesson 5. Your reputation is not your responsibility. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Read that again. Let it settle. How much of your life is spent performing, curating an image, saying yes when you mean no, staying silent when everything in you wants to speak, living someone else's version of your life? The Stoics drew a hard line between what is yours and what is not. Your actions, your values, your effort, these are yours. Other people's opinions, reactions, and judgments, these belong to them. And mixing the two creates a lifetime of unnecessary pain. Live so that you respect your own reflection. That is enough. That has always been enough. Lesson 6. Silence is a source of great strength. We live in an age that rewards noise. The loudest voice gets the most attention. The most dramatic reaction gets the most engagement. But the Stoics understood that real power lives in what you choose not to say. When someone insults you and you don't react, you keep your power. When everyone around you is panicking and you remain still, you become the anchor. When you resist the urge to prove yourself, you prove more than words ever could. Epictetus taught, "Be silent for the most part, or, if you speak, say only what is necessary and in few words." This wasn't about being antisocial, it was about being intentional. Every word you speak either builds your life or diminishes it. There is no neutral speech. Choose silence more often, not from weakness, from depth. Lesson 7. The present moment is all you ever have. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. The past is a memory. The future is a projection. The only thing that actually exists is this. Right now, this breath, this heartbeat, this moment of attention you are giving these words. And yet most people spend their entire lives either regretting yesterday or fearing tomorrow. They are never here. They are always somewhere else. And that somewhere else doesn't even exist. The Stoics practiced constant presence, not as meditation, not as a technique, as a way of life. The discipline of bringing your full attention to whatever is directly in front of you and nothing else. When you eat, taste your food. When you work, give your full effort. When someone speaks to you, listen as if their words contain something you desperately need to hear, because they might. And you would miss it entirely if you were somewhere else in your mind. The present is not a waiting room. It is the only room there is. 7 lessons, 7 ancient truths. Not one of them is easy, but every single one of them is real. Suffering is the curriculum. Anger burns the one who holds it. Most fears never arrive. Loss teaches you to love fully. Your reputation is not your burden. Silence is strength, and the present moment is all you will ever have. The Stoics didn't have easy lives, but they had clear ones. They saw reality without flinching, and they met it with courage, discipline, and an unshakable inner calm. You don't need to read every Stoic text. You don't need to memorize their quotes. You just need to start living as if these 7 lessons were true, because they are. And deep down, you already know it. Start with 1 lesson today. Carry it with you through every conversation, every decision, every quiet moment alone, and let it change the way you see the world. If this reached you at the right time, subscribe. We explore timeless ideas for the modern mind every week.